Hello, Internet, and welcome to another episode of Chariots of the Pods. This is episode 14. We're already at 14 episodes, a quarter of the way through the series after this. There's much rejoicing. Which is a reference. I shouldn't make those references because they're old, like me. Also old like me is the first co-host of this podcast, Tyler. Also, I'm Adam, by the way. Hello.
Salutations.
Yeah, that's right. This is a chaotic episode. Just it's all a mess now. Speaking, well, no, okay. Well, kind of a mess. We have Jason,
My voice this week is brought to you by Losages.
and then our very special guest star of the week, joining us for the first time. We have Justin.
Hi, first time.
Yes.
I believe
Star
you're the
star of
youngest.
stage and screen, Justin.
I believe you're the youngest of us here, Adam. So old like you doesn't really mean much. This chat.
Shit.
Almost Grab is older than you, or Tyler, whatever.
Anyway, so this time we are here to talk about episodes 7 through 10 in season 3 of the Stargate SG-1. Starting with Deadman Switch. Does anyone want to summarize this? Because I'll give a favorable summary if you don't.
It's better that you use your voice rather than me.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Yeah. So, okay.
I don't know. Since I'm so old, I shouldn't be trusted with my elderly dementia to recap this episode. So you go ahead, Adam.
I mean, I said that you're as old as I am. So.
You jerk.
So, in this episode, SG-1 goes to a planet that looks a lot like British Columbia. They get captured by a bounty hunter named Spock. This bounty hunter has apparently read the lore Bible of the show and just knows everything and is a smartass about it, which throws off O'Neill because O'Neill's the smartass, and now someone's being a smartass at him. So there's a lot of smartassery going on. They get captured by this bounty hunter, but Spock actually wants to hunt down a Goa'uld who's hiding out on the planet. So he, through some shenanigans, enlists their help against their will in capturing the Goa'uld. Turns out that Goa'uld in particular is a Tok'ra. They're like, well, we're not turning this Tok'ra over to this bounty hunter. Some more shenanigans ensue. Spock gets a face turn at the very end, and everyone goes home.
Yeah, that's pretty good summary.
I hate to say this with a full mouth, but that fucking face turn sucks.
Yeah,
I hate it. I hate it when heels conveniently turn face for 5 minutes to save a plot.
Well, to be fair, the other characters don't give him credit for it, and because he's basically Deadpool, he calls out.
Yeah,
no, they don't give him credit for the face turn.
I mean, early on in the episode, I was getting like Boba Fett vibes. Like this guy's gonna be like a persistent foil. He's just gonna show up at the worst time in future episodes, and maybe like at the end, our SG-1 gets something over on him and he gets away. But no, it's like his heart grew 3 sizes just by talking to Tilk.
So I maybe hated this guy more than other people will, but he shows up and I think his costume looks terrible. It looks like some of the worst cosplay ever. And like his personality, maybe I'm wrong on this because it's been a long time since I watched Futurama, but he reminded me of like Zap Brannigan. I posted this in the chat.
Zap Brannigan was never that self-aware though, and that's kind of the point.
I know, but like that's the ballpark I had. That's the ballpark I had in my head. Was this supposed to be like a funny Looney Tunes character?
He kind of
just knows everything, and I found him very annoying.
He strikes me as more of like a Deadpool type, where like he's turning the camera and like winking at you.
Except without actually breaking the third wall.
Yeah, except without actually talking at the camera. at you.
Well, or the third wall in this instance, but yeah, it's fourth wall.
I mean, I was going to let that mistake slide. But
Yeah, that's
yeah, he doesn't actually turn the camera and talk to you, which would have been fun. But he does everything but that.
Mhm.
Were fourth wall breaks a thing back in the early 2000s?
Back in
I mean,
'99,
depends
not
on where
in
you're looking.
television.
Not in this kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was a bit out there for the time. But yeah, so like he just knows who everyone is by name and rank, except he calls Carter captain, and then she corrects him. He's like, "Oh wow, that's so special for you."
Yeah, he's basically acting like a jerk throughout the episode. He does try to give the reason for his motivations. Like it turns out they reveal what his motivations are later, but he basically keeps bullshitting them again and again and again throughout the episode. The first being that, what he's like, "Oh, I'm trusting you with this weapon," to which they immediately shoot him with it. But turns out he was just more or less just pretending to get shot, I guess as a joke.
Just to
No, he
fuck
got
with him.
shot, but he's immune to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but
he's
he's still like,
pretending that the zatted him. So
So
and then I guess the ship is rigged to have a fake destruct countdown just to make them sweat it out, and then teach them a lesson to not defy him. I guess.
well, it's not fake. He shows up at the last minute and puts it back in because later on he takes it out and it does blow up.
Oh,
Spoiler
okay.
alert. So, are they trying to make him their very own Q?
But he
no,
never
I
shows
don't
up
think.
again.
Like Q from
Yeah.
Yeah, he
James
doesn't.
Bond?
He is not appearing
No,
in this series again.
No, wrong Q.
Okay.
Guess which Q this is from. Guess which
It's
show
Star
this
Trek.
Q is from. I was gonna let him guess. It's gonna take.
Nah,
Like,
I
it's
only know the
Star
one
Trek.
from James Bond, so
uh,
we
Go
would
for
have been
Star
here
Trek's
all
funnier.
night.
The young one
But
or the
yeah,
one?
he does have that energy, but also we never see him again. So well.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
from what I understand, he appears again in some novels, but like, who cares about those?
Of course he does.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where like someone who's writing based on an expanded universe novel of this would be like, okay, what are characters I can pull from? This is a character.
It's
But
it's like how in the Star Wars
the-
expanded universe, people just latched onto the smuggler archetype, make
It
made
could
that whole
be.
faction.
It could
speaking
be
of which,
like
his name
several
is like a
things.
Star Wars character. It's just two random like.
Yeah, Air Spock is actually like a higher tier Star Wars character name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Justin.
I forgot what I was gonna say. It slipped my ancient dusty mind.
What did you guys think about giving him an addiction to blue Gatorade? Like, was that there just to make us feel some sort of empathy towards him? Because the crew never uses it like against him.
They stole that from DS9.
Yeah, was this like I was gonna say, was this before or after DS9? Because this is just straight up like he has a
After.
Jem'Hadar.
So
He's just a
he
Jem'Hadar.
seems. I understand the idea of making somebody addicted to something, so they have to keep coming back to you for it. Like that form of control, obviously, that's easy to understand. I do think he needs way too much of it, though. Like,
Yeah, he does drink way too much of it.
if you want
Yeah, he's
someone to be
constantly
useful,
drinking it.
you want it to be like, they're going to need like a dose of this drug every week. That's a reasonable amount for them to go out and go do something and come back. He needs it like every 5 minutes.
At least in this episode, yeah.
At
I
least
don't know.
this
It's
episode.
kind of a weird thing because it's not like he's particularly. It doesn't seem like a drug that would like this doesn't seem to be getting him high. I think like they've more or less moved on to the you just need this to live phase.
Yeah,
there's-
it
There's
does
no
actually get you
withdrawals.
high.
There's
Just
yeah.
it's like there's it's an addiction without any like benefits other than you just need this substance or you'll die.
And the characters do keep asking him about it throughout the episodes, or he keeps making like random jokes like, "Oh, it's flavoring," or I forget the other one.
Oh, no, it says it's water. It's like, yeah, but what are you putting in the water? Flavor. Like, okay, bro, whatever. Don't want to talk
Yeah, this
about
was
it.
before those. Oh, fuck, I forgot what they're called. Those stupid like water flavor kits that they sell nowadays.
Oh, like the powders. I mean, there's always been powders, just there for kids before.
his own little packet of like high C or whatever the fuck they call it.
That's not how you see. Like
Mhm.
some element powder. Actually, we should get an element sponsorship. That stuff tastes terrible. We should do ads
You should
for it.
get sponsored by this shit that tastes terrible and will make you sick.
Yeah.
he's the original gamer fuel.
Hey kids, you want to start vaping?
Hey kids, do you like cigarettes? No.
I hear Winston smokes good, like a cigarette should.
But yeah, there's a lot of snark in this episode. They're probably
Yeah.
going for too much. There's a
There's
high
essentially
density
two
snark.
forces snarking at each other constantly.
Yeah, pretty much.
I did like the part in early on where the reason they're on that planet is because they're yet again looking for another UAV that got shot down.
They really should just write those off.
Yeah, like return to manufacturer and please fix. And Jack once again tries his knife trick, and
Oh, because there's a force field that they're
yeah,
trapped in.
yeah,
When
yeah, and
when they get got.
yeah, and unfortunately, instead of knife throwing a knife through the dude's hand, he has some bullshit super force field that's red this time.
And then he just laughs at O'Neill for trying it.
Yeah.
Well, he
Yeah.
doesn't have a
It was a
force
good
field.
bit, though.
It's because he throws it against the trap force field.
Yeah, it's
Oh, is that
trapped.
how they explained it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
it's not his
some kind
force
of
field. It's the force field that keeps them trapped. That Daniel
Oh.
Jackson almost breaks his nose on.
Yeah, this is now the third type of force field we've seen from Gould Technology. They have a lot of different force fields, turns out. Actually,
Mhm.
fourth kind of force field, now that you think about it. But anyway, yeah. So there's that. He at one point he mistakes Daniel for a medical doctor because he's Dr. Daniel Jackson because
Yeah.
he gets wounded at one point and he's making them do, I guess, first aid on him. He's like, "Well, you're a doctor, right?" He goes, "Of archaeology." He's like, "Okay, whatever. Carter, come over here."
Mhm.
Yeah, there's fun stuff there.
Yeah,
This
she was
episode
poking at
that's
his wound.
trying to be fun. This is really trying to be a fun episode.
It is. I just don't think it ever gets there. Like, I think if they actually like, maybe stuck with it, the thing of like, no, his kid's actually a slave, like maybe then you could have endured him to this. But like, they reveal at one point that no, he's just bullshitting you. It's just they keep him controlled because they made them addicted to this shit.
Or if they just like leaned into him just being an asshole,
Yeah.
like without redemption.
Well, I mean, and then I guess like, how do you resolve this episode, right?
Yeah, they have to
Because
escape
they have the face
somehow.
turn.
And
I,
the whole
I
thing
mean,
is
just
that
like Justin said, it kind of comes out of nowhere. Like the entire time, it seems like he's just bullshitting them. But like, even before he has the complete face turn, when how can I put this? So like, he essentially captures them all again,
Mhm.
has everything he wanted, has them all with no weapons. They, for all intents and purposes, tried to betray him, and he's like, "Okay, you're free to go." That makes no
It feels
sense.
like this. It feels like this. It feels like there's enough going on in this episode to try to make it a two-parter. It feels like he should have taken Teal'c all the way up to the spaceship, or all the way to Sokar, or something. There should have been some second part. And I know you don't really do that often in the '90s. I know that a two-parter is like a big event, but it still feels like there should have been a second episode where Teal'c is in jail somewhere, or they have to catch up to this guy, or something.
the thing is, everything in this episode, there's those two like shenanigan heavy for them to just pivot to, oh, by the way, Teal'c's being tortured to death by Sokar.
Yeah.
Could have been. They didn't
Another-
have to.
Oh,
They
go
didn't
ahead,
have to.
Justin.
Maybe they don't. Maybe don't get him all the way to Sokar. Maybe it was just like some kind of like we have to track down this guy kind of second episode. I don't really want a second episode with this guy. I'm just saying that with the plot they've set up, the way this episode ends is it feels it's completely out of character for the guy. I say this as someone who is generally do not like sudden face turns that solve the plot. I feel like if you want to have a villain like this, who you're absolutely not sympathetic for at first, who is clearly a bad person, if you want to have them turn good, you need to have a significant character arc for that, and you can't do it in one episode the way this does.
No, and yeah,
But 90s, but that's 90s TV.
Well, I think it's worse than that. They don't even try to do it in this episode. Like they put little things there saying like, oh, maybe like they are trying to do it, but then like it's always revealed that he's either bullshitting them or no, that was another lie, and that's what makes it so when in the end he suddenly decides to not turn any of them in, it makes it feel really out of place.
Another thing we need to point out is during all this, there's the plot of the reason why he let the crew go is so they can go capture this Goa'uld, who in fact turns out to be a Tok'ra spy. And now the crew's conflicted. Do we turn in Tok'ra to save, one of our crew, or do we sacrifice somebody in the group? And
I think they let go of Teal'c too easy as well. That was one thing I thought of. Like, there have been times in this where, like O'Neill and the rest of the crew were willing to go to any length to save one of the other four. But here they're just like, okay, well, that sucks, Teal'c. Good to know you.
Well, that's not necessarily true because like Jack does protest a bunch. And it's more so at gunpoint where he is more or less forced to leave.
Yeah, because most of the shenanigans in this episode are Erisbach like driving home that they cannot get one over on him.
Yeah.
That he will outwit them and overpower them every single time.
I guess a more satisfying conclusion would have been a sudden outwitting. For most of this
It would,
episode,
yeah.
I actually thought that that there was a moment we talked about it just a bit ago when Major Carter has to like do some kind of medical thing to him. She injects something into his injury. I was going to guess that she maybe did something else to him secretly at that moment, and I figured that would be the outwitting.
I
Maybe.
figured
But they more or less lose to this guy.
I thought it was going to be them getting a hand on his fruit mix powder and like, I don't know, I guess bartering with him. Like, we'll give this back to you because we know you're an addict, but you're going to let us go through the Stargate first.
It's like the Stargate crystal for the blue Kool-Aid. Yeah. That would have been a bit dark. That would have been a bit dark, I guess.
I guess. I think the easier way to resolve this episode, especially if you wanted this guy to be a recurring character, which I guess doesn't mean anything because he doesn't really show up again, is like you just have the SG-1 outsmart him. And then he's at their mercy and they spare him. And then they say something like, okay, give us one of those things. We're going to try to find something that'll help your race reverse your addiction to this. And have that be the start. Right? Like that would be a good way to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're set a recurring character.
Mind you, that would also be copying Star Trek, but whatever.
Sure. But something other than where the bad guy just wins and then chooses to lose.
Yeah, it's an odd one. And I remember liking this episode as a kid because just the fun, roguish banter.
I mean, all of that stuff's fine, and honestly, I think for the most part, it's good. It's just the way it resolves just kind of feels like weird.
All right, so yeah, any standout notes or moments for anyone?
I guess from a lore perspective, this is our first time seeing a Goa'uld craft that isn't like a death glider or a giant flying pyramid.
The cargo ship. My beloved.
You're right. And we've established that cloaking is a thing now.
Yeah, I mean, they've had cloaking before, too. It was just for, like, people as opposed to whole ships.
Yeah.
Which brings to mind why do they want the people early on that could cloak an entire city?
I guess the cloaking technology is very new.
Yeah, it might be very new, or it may only work when stationary.
Maybe they got the knocks and we just don't know it.
Or like maybe like there's an arms race and Apophis was like, oh, I can just get it from this planet with the big dragonflies on it.
Oh,
Yeah, could be.
And then like other Goulds like figured out other ways to get cloaking technology. And that's how you got the personal cloaks, and then now they're cloaking a medium-sized ship, and so on.
One note I made is, what if they zap the door 3 times? Haven't they zatted inanimate objects before?
Don't look.
Listen. I understand that the Zat is actually a plot advancement gun and nothing else, but
I mean, if you can stop a ICBM with it, you can open a door with it.
Going forward in the show, when they use Zats on door panels, it's to disable the door panel. It doesn't open the door.
okay, but what if they shut the door itself?
Look, man.
You shoot it 3 times and it disappears, and you're good to go.
Look, man.
Still got to figure out how to turn the Stargate back on, but I bet Daniel or Sam could figure that out.
Look.
Mm-hmm. What?
That's not how it works, okay?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, they probably need after this episode to go and reinforce that set for the cargo ship a bit, because the wall panel with like the door opening controls was visibly flexing whenever the guest star like just slammed his fist into it to like open the door. Like you see,
he was probably a pretty strong dude. He looked like he visited a gym occasionally,
or just like he wasn't being careful enough with the props.
Well, the trivia notes listed Sam Jones as a former U.S. Marine, so he was pretty fit.
But yeah, so probably need to just go and reinforce that wall with like a 2x4 or something, just so it doesn't flex so much.
Plywood.
Just
a little bit of plywood.
Yeah, just like a couple more, like 2 or 3 more layers of plywood, form it up a bit.
I think the issue there was that is just that thing he was wearing was just too bulky.
Maybe. I always enjoyed the part when he reveals that the Zats don't work on him. When O'Neill just kind of casually shoots him in the ass with it, and he goes, "Ooh, tickles."
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that stuff's all good. Like,
that's one of the better parts of the episode.
Yeah, I don't think the issue here is in anyone's acting or like what they do with what they're given. I think it's another one of those episodes where it resolves way too quickly out of nowhere.
I just thought it was funny him getting shot in the ass and
that is a good moment.
As a kid, when you're 12, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny.
I do have a technical note.
Okay, go ahead.
When he first captures them at the beginning, and he's demonstrating that they really shouldn't fight him, he shoots his, I guess, phase. It's like it's one of those phase guns, but I guess it blows up things in real life. He shoots it at like a tree log next to Teal'c's head, and like there's a like explosion and smoke and all that, and it's supposed to be like just inches from him, and like he doesn't react. He casually turns to look at it because he's a badass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That either they did pyro way too close to Christopher Judge, or I think that was an overlay they did, where they overlaid an explosion and like had him turn and look at like nothing happening, and then they put like an explosion effect there. Oh, I just superimposed it.
Hopefully, it was the latter.
Yeah, and they're not like exploding a tree log next to Christopher Judge. You don't want that. Also, they say the cargo ship can go twice the speed of light. That is way too slow. They do this again. They did this at the end of season 1. They're doing it again. Like eventually, they're going to have these ships zip around the galaxy much faster than that. They really shouldn't have said that.
So they actually do say that. I was actually going to make a note where even twice the speed of light is too slow to get much of anywhere in the Milky Way galaxy, because the Milky Way galaxy, for listeners who might not know, is 100,000 light years across.
That's 6 years.
basically, if you travel twice the speed of light and it takes you 10 years to get from one place to another in the Milky Way galaxy, you're basically a next door neighbor with whatever you went to.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, don't say anything there. Don't say how fast it is. Because you don't know what you're doing. Don't pretend you know what you're doing. Just don't say anything. Just leave it to insinuation. Damn it.
I mean, most people won't fact check this stuff, so it's fine.
But it's so obvious.
I mean, most people aren't nerds like me or Master who already know how wide the Milky Way galaxy is.
This is a sci-fi show. A lot of the audience knew.
But it's not hard sci-fi.
Did we know how big the Milky Way galaxy was in '99?
Yes.
I don't know that for sure.
Yes.
We knew.
Wow,
Okay.
triggered
It's
response
math.
there.
They figured that out like several decades before.
That's true,
Anyway.
but also like I get it. If Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about Stargate, he'd be really annoying and dismissive of it.
Oh, absolutely.
But like, does it really matter?
I mean, no, but also,
yes, it doesn't.
Also,
But just from like a writing perspective, don't put a number there.
She could have instead said fast enough to get to X spot in Y time.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
All.
It's like also, it will take several weeks to get between planets with stargates, right? Just say that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine, I guess.
Yeah, so just a question for you. Writing note for people. If you want to be a writer and you don't know what you're talking about, don't specify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a quick question for y'all. How did you like the moment where this bounty hunter was like telling everyone what they were worth, and when Daniel asked him, he was just like, maybe like a day's worth of food.
Oh, like a day's ration, and then at the end, he like just
worth,
like apropos of nothing. Stop saying right back at the end. It's like, oh, by the way, I was lying before. You're worth way more than 1 day's ration. And Daniel's like, that doesn't make me feel any better.
Yeah. But that,
I mean, that's a situation
where they're almost comparing bounties, what I thought was very good.
That is a situation where I'd be like, I'd be scared of a high number, but also like offended at a low number.
Yeah, so that's a good bit.
Yeah, like
there are good individual bits here that are just strung together.
Well, there are a ton of individual bits here. The problem is that it's just solved by like, yeah. It's the ending is what brings this episode down, which is unfortunate because I think they do a good amount of decent setup here. Just the payoff is kind of like, huh?
Yeah, and we're gonna get. I guess this is foreshadowing for the rest of this batch of episodes. Is everyone ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right. So that takes us to season 3, episode 8, Demons. In this episode, SG-1 goes to. Well, does anyone want this one, or before I start going?
No, not really.
Yeah, I bet. In this episode, SG-1 goes to a planet that looks a lot like British Columbia. And they find a medieval English village full of people who are full of a bunch of medieval Catholics that are very afraid of the devil. Then an Unas saunters into town and demands human sacrifice as tribute for Sokar. Turns out Sokar is telling this specific planet that he's the devil, Satan, Lucifer, Beelzebub, all that stuff. And the Unas is just an Unas working for Sokar, who goes in at once a year, says, I'm a demon from hell, give me tribute or else.
Yeah, oogity boogity boo.
Yeah. So then SG-1 gets caught up. The head of this town is corrupt, has I guess a ghoul device ring that strikes people down with lightning. They get captured. They get offered a sacrifice.
Yeah. You forget the part where they do the Salem witch trials on Teal'c.
They do the Salem witch trials on Teal'c. We will get into detail on that later.
On the third hour, Teal'c rised again.
There is a trepanning bit in here as well because
Yeah.
because Dark Ages, and eventually it's them and this girl from the village who has like chicken pox or something. Get captured, get taken off by the Unos. They overpower the Unos, shoot it a bunch. There's a thing where the head of the village shows up for no reason in the forest with them. Gets the ghoul in his neck, and then they shoot him at the end. They leave. The guest stars say they'll bury the Stargate. Everyone lives happily ever after? Question mark.
And except for that guy who died.
Except for the guy who died, but he sucked.
I
he did.
thought this show had me for a second. I thought for a second that this was going to be yet another heel turns face at the end for a few minutes, and then thankfully it wasn't that.
No, it was a case of like, shit, they found me out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the thing with this episode is Christianity.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, was it not obvious enough? So, what were the names of the characters of this episode again? Oh, that's right. So there was Simon. That's
there was
definitely not a
Simon.
biblical name. Mary, definitely not a biblical
Yep.
name.
The guy in
who was
charge
the-
is
who was
just
the
the
douchebag?
canon. They just call him the canon.
Yeah,
They call him the
which is
Canon?
kind
He
of
didn't
a
get a name.
weird name, but
Yeah,
yes,
that is
canon
weird.
with one N.
Yeah, as in like the head of a monastery, which that's not what he's doing there. But hey, it's been 1,000 years.
Yeah, I
Which,
guess.
by the way, if I were traveling through the Stargate and I saw a medieval village, I would immediately turn around and go ask for a vaccine against the bubonic plague.
or turn around and go get a
Or-
medievalist and come back. Because
Yeah,
Daniel's more of an ancient civilization type of guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he sees like a plaque and says, "Oh, that's Middle English." I guess. And then he has kind of a hard time reading it because that's not his area.
Yeah, it's too Shakespearean for him or something. I don't know.
No, Shakespeare is
too
early
Chaucer
modern
for him.
English.
Yeah, no, this is more like
I know,
Daniel
yeah.
says pre-Chaucer, which is a funny way of defining that era of language. But yeah, so there's direct Bible references, direct references to God, as in God, as O'Neill would put it, and Christianity. They do not do this again. They were plugged with fire. I don't think they got burned that badly, but they're like, yeah, let's just not do this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think they're very. How can I put this? It's not like they're disrespectful of Christianity or anything, right? It's just kind of weird.
Yeah,
Like everything, the way
Maybe-
they paint these people, like they kind of paint them. It's sort of like more or less them trying to retell the history of like the dark times of Christianity, specifically the Salem witch trials, and how like the upper people were corrupt and.
It was.
But I guess maybe I'm just reading too much into it.
Sure,
It was more
I don't-
cliche
I
than
do
anything.
think, yeah, it's a bunch of cliches. I do think you're reading too much into it. I do think that, like, the medieval times were actually vastly more complicated than you can represent in a 90s sci-fi
Yeah.
TV show.
a word.
You don't say. Yeah, it's. And here, this is just schlock. I don't know. I don't want to give it any more credit, and I don't mean that in an insulting way. For the record, this is like cheesy primetime TV nonsense. This
is
I don't
a
think it's
campy
really.
show.
Yeah, it's campy. It's nonsense. It's fine. I don't think many people would have taken offense to it. In the same way, and in the same way that that some of the people watching this would have known how big the Milky Way galaxy is. I don't think many of them would have cared much about a misrepresentation of medieval Christianity.
Yeah.
Some would, but there's no record of a blowback on this episode.
Yeah, and that's fine. There's not really much reason to.
Yeah, like I doubt most people would be like, "Oh, they're disrespect." Like,
Concerned parties were too busy complaining about Pokemon at the time.
Exactly. That and like, if we're being perfectly honest, they've done other religions way dirtier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or
They've done
just
other.
maybe not necessarily religions, but people.
Yeah, and let's be honest, that demographic probably isn't watching Showtime on cable.
In 1999.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah.
yeah. I think the most like offensive thing about this episode was how they kind of um, did their own lore. At one point, Daniel mentions, "Oh, at some point, the gold must have brought, people from medieval Europe through the Antarctica gate." But
No, that would have to have been by ship. The Antarctic Gate was frozen.
yes, and
Yeah.
it was buried under what, like 300 feet of ice and snow. And in that episode, wasn't it understood that gate existed before the other gate up in Giza?
They had not established a timeline of when the gates were built. They did find a dead Jaffa next to that gate in that episode.
Okay.
So the Goa'uld tried to use it at some point in the past. But the dead Jaffa was probably an indication of how well that went.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like in, I guess among the fan community, it's commonly accepted that no, that wasn't Antarctic Gate. They took our ship in a spaceship and then like abducted a village at some point,
Okay.
as you do.
That I can buy.
Yeah, the fan community did a lot of work squaring all the circles that are just sprinkled through the show into a decent continuity. So yeah, it really is just an odd thing here. Like you have trepanning, which is not accurately represented. You have a witch trial, which is not accurately represented. Like the prayer the canon does at one point is from the 1800s, not the medieval times. And just from a medievalist perspective, like it's just, everything about this is completely whack. About as whack as their depictions of ancient Egypt. So I guess consistency there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Here's a question: did any of you guys recognize Simon?
Oh yeah, he was that guy.
He was the guy
was
from
he
the
was
Korai
he
episode.
Tank from? Was he the guy from Matrix? Was he Tank from Matrix?
Oh, I don't know,
No.
maybe.
No.
Am I wrong on that?
He was the guy in Korai that
Yeah,
season
he
one
was
episode.
the guy with the bad hair in Korai.
The guy whose
Why don't I think
father was
that?
killed by Teal'c.
Yeah. The guy with the crossbow, who was real bad.
Yeah.
How
He's
did
been in a
everyone
bunch of
like the guy who played the villain of the episode, the canon? Him just doing like a weird Marlon Brando impersonation the whole time. How did everyone
Did a
enjoy
good
that?
enough job.
Yeah, that was at some point I started to think about that. Like, I mean, it's okay, but I wish he would have done something else.
I think he
It's
did good with
odd.
what he was given. He's basically just running around like yelling Satan a lot.
It's pretty good.
Which, there's only so much you could do with those lines.
But just him just like doing just like going into Brando whenever the camera has a close up on him. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. I think the thing that annoys me most about this episode is how quickly they get captured.
Like immediately, right?
Just a dude like coveting his ring. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, guys.
And
Also,
better
that
than this.
that ring is one of the most powerful things we've seen so far, right? Like,
it's like weather control and a Zat all in one.
yeah.
Which, for all intents
So,
and purposes, the SGC now has that ring because, for whatever reason, he handed it over.
Because he had a Gould in him.
Yeah, and the Goa'uld
Yeah.
didn't care anymore because the Goa'uld had other ways of doing things.
Yeah, I suppose. What do you think that Ghoul's plan was? Just like hope that they leave and then be like, well, I'm gonna fucking leave now too, and now I'm gonna kill all these people.
Yeah, maybe.
probably-
Or just like it's like, oh yeah, bury the Stargate. Sure, we'll bury the Stargate. This is my planet now. Haha.
Mhm.
Who knows?
Possible.
I mean,
It
that
was
Goa'uld
cool to
spent.
see the Unas costume again.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the Unas.
Yeah, he died a little too easily, I think, compared to the last one.
Well, define easily, because like he was shot with a staff weapon, what, 5 times?
I feel like the
Or 3
last one
times.
fell over a bunch of times and still got back up from
Yeah.
bullets and such.
They mag dumped his ass several times and he kept coming.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But those were guns.
Sure. Like I understand that the staff weapon was exploding his insides a little bit. Still, if you get like 3 magazines worth of MP5 ammo dumped into you, there's not going to be much left.
Maybe that's just the James Earl Jones effect. When you're James Earl Jones, you can get up after getting shot 55 times.
Just like Darth Vader.
Sure.
And to be fair, in Stargate, people get shot by staff weapons and survive all the time.
Yeah, the staff weapons are pretty inconsistent about what they do.
Yeah, they are.
Don't worry, they'll get pretty consistent later on in this batch.
So, Teal'c's read the Bible.
Yeah,
That
that's
doesn't
an
surprise me.
interesting conversation they have in that. Like, they do the smart thing of avoiding the, like, if you were to suggest that Jesus was a gold or a Tok'ra, that's what probably would have pissed people off. They avoid that pretty easily by just making it like, yo, this guy's just pretending to be Satan, I guess, because he thinks it's funny.
Yeah,
I
that
don't-
would be
I don't-
that's pretty funny, actually.
like, who are you? I'm Satan. Ah, shit.
Like when Tilk said that, the first thing that popped into my mind is, I wonder if there's like an audio recording of the Bible out there. It's Christopher Judge reading it as the character Tilk.
Oh no.
It's possible. I mean, that's how O'Neill is, or the joke O'Neill makes is like, I'm reading it, I'm listening to an audiobook of it. Don't ruin the ending for me.
That's a good joke.
Is that supposed to be a joke about Revelation or a joke about the
I
first
think
4
it's just
books
a
of the New
joke in
Testament?
general.
I think
Mhm.
just in general. You can draw from that what you will.
Yeah.
Jack makes a quote from Dr. Evil, the Austin Powers
Oh god, he
series, and
does.
Yeah, that
He
was so out of
does.
place.
it really was.
Like Richard D. Anderson saw Austin Powers and then just like did that for a couple weeks to be
Yeah.
funny. Yeah. I mean, it was 1999. People were quoting Dr. Evil more than you would want back then. I liked the like escape sequence towards the end. Like that was a good tumble stunt down the hill, like the 5.
Oh yeah,
tumbles
where they
down.
just tell Mary, like, just curl up into a ball and roll with this, huh? It's just like,
Yeah.
we're out. And it is funny to see the Unas guy just kind of look at them. It's like, I don't want to go down this hill.
He's like, ah, shit. But no, that was a good tumble stunt. That was a good a bit where they're all chained, they're all like trapped against the tree. They're trying to, and they're caught by the Unas, and the guy shows up.
Yeah,
does three-
I guess this is like the part where Simon finally, more or less, finally decides like, no, he's going to take action, because throughout the entire episode, he's more or less just kind of cowering, right?
Yeah, and then like there's some good blood splatter when he does that third shot point blank into the Unas. There's like the green blood splattered on him. That's pretty good.
Yeah, actually, that whole scene's pretty good. Just like O'Neill yelling, "Shoot him!" Like, which good on this medieval dude for figuring out how this thing works enough to shoot it in time, I guess.
Yeah,
But just O'Neill
because he
yelling in the
caught the
background,
butt.
"Keep shooting! Shoot him again! Keep firing!" It's a very good bit. Honestly, it's a surprise that Simon lives through this. I guess like when the thing finally catches up to Simon, it's on its last legs, and it's its idea on how to
Yeah.
handle him is to just give him the world's strongest backhand.
Yes, yeah, just backhand him into a tree or something.
Yeah, which don't get me wrong, it knocks him the hell out. But then I guess at that point he's like, "Ah, shit, I'm dying. I guess I need to take this fat dude now."
Well, now that we say it out loud, why didn't the ghoul just jump into Simon?
The fat dude was in charge of the village, had more authority. to get around.
Maybe he was just so angry at Simon that he's like, no, I need to. This guy shot me 3 times. I need to backhand him as hard as I can.
His plan was to take over the clergyman so he could keep zatting him with the ring.
Actually, that probably was the thing. It's like, hey, I'm in charge now. I'm going to keep zapping you for the next 20 years.
Another note I took down, Junior 2.0 continues to be the unspoken MVP of SG-1, because apparently you can't drown if you have a Goa'uld larval in you.
I feel like that's more just like a thing they made up to have a convenient thing. Like, one of the writers was like, and then we're going to have Teal'c rise like Jesus. And everyone's going to be like,
I feel like somebody should be keeping track of all of Larval Gould's like abilities, as it just keeps getting more and more OP as time goes on.
Well, what have they got so far? They got you can't drown, you can't get sick.
You can resist all these crazy alien diseases. You can't get roofie powdered by Hathor.
Honestly, a good thing.
You can sense Goa'uld. You can sense other Jaffa.
Which is inconsistent, because Teal'c should have sensed the cannon being infected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we're being honest, like even Samantha took too long to sense him. Or did she sense him right away, like when he showed up? I feel like they were talking and opening the gate.
Yeah, it took her a minute to feel it. Which,
by the way, they shot the hell out of him.
Yeah, they did. That was like 3 bullets, right?
They basically sprayed and prayed on that guy.
No, it's like a pistol, 3 rounds.
Oh, yeah, really? They shot him. They shot him a couple times. Like they shot him enough to make sure he's dead, but I don't feel like it was like a full-on spray and pray.
No, because it's a pistol, not a MP5. Just so Neil just puts.
So essentially, this guy could not maintain kayfabe, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the Goa'ulds are bad at that. Turns out. Just can't do kayfabe.
Which I guess at that point you do have like the quick moment where like Simon more or less gives this guy, even though he was a complete jerk, his last rites.
Oh yeah,
it's a fun way to end the episode. Like,
yeah, and they walk back to the exact same spot that they ended the Nox episode.
I mean,
because that's the same location.
It's not the first time that they'll walk there, and it's not the last time.
and I just realized the Stargate is in the exact same spot.
Yeah, I mean, they've done that before for the other shooting locations. It's just convenient, okay?
I wonder if they just left all those Stargates out in the wilderness for people to come find.
No, they only had the one Stargate prop that they trucked around.
Really?
Yeah. They had they had one prop in the gate room and then one prop for the outdoors. That was lighter weight.
Interesting.
So I guess that's why they keep going to the same sets. It's like they found these locations where they could drive in and lean up their Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just keep going back. They just rotate through those.
Makes sense.
It would be funnier if there was just Stargates littered around BC, just left in the wilderness.
I know, right?
Oh, they should have done that. If they had that J.J. Abrams money, they could have done that.
I guess, and then, but like, just think if they did do that, and then 3,000 years from now, people go there and they're like, "What is this?"
That's just fiberglass. So.
I know, but what if it wasn't? What if it was still there? What if we tricked some idiots in the future to thinking that we have Stargates for real?
You could trick idiots. Now we have Stargates for real.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
So, guys, I'll be honest. Like, if I was to go back and do like a third rewatch of all of Stargate, I don't think this episode would make it onto the rewatch list. It just doesn't do a whole lot for me.
It's not essential.
It meanders for a bit, especially during the Teal'c torture scenes.
Yeah, so when they put the hot iron against his gold symbol on his forehead and hold it there, like the gold isn't gonna melt. I guess
It's
not hot
still
enough to melt the
fucking
gold.
hurt.
Yeah, that would still hurt, and that would still like burn the skin there. I don't see why that would. Yeah, no, that was silly.
I don't know. I'm not sure if they necessarily made a point of it saying like, oh, he's not actually being hurt or whatever, right? Like it could have been just like
He
Teal'c
was
was just like,
hurt.
oh, I can
He
just
did-
handle this.
Yeah, like it seems like he's
But there's
just
no burn
tanking
there.
it, and there's no burn later.
Yeah, his
I
constitution's
guess
too
you could
high.
say I guess you could say Junior healed the burn, but
Constitution.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He passed his fortitude saves.
He rolled a nat 20 on that one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in that case, it's kind of one of those weird things. Like, if you think about the weird Salem witch trials they put him through, like he failed the first one. Is like, we did the thing and he didn't feel pain. That means he's probably a demon. And then they go to the drowning one. So it's kind of like, well, what happens if he screamed at the first one? Would they just be like, I guess you're fine?
The cannon was getting off on it, I think.
I mean, probably. Do you think he was disappointed that Teal'c just sank to the bottom?
It's like, oh well, I had my fun.
I guess we're done.
He was probably like, okay, so we had one pest that proved he was a demon, one pest that proved that he wasn't. We need to do a third pest, but
no one wants to go down there and get him.
And usually,
they did actually go down there and get him, though.
More than one of those like torture trials for witches, because people are usually dead by the first one.
Yeah. And also, like, you would assume that if like they survived one, then at that point you would just be like, well, they're a demon, right? It's like
yeah, and they just burn them at the stake at that point, or what have you.
Well, I mean, burning at the stake was one of the tests.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, turns out the Salem witch trials not good things.
No,
It's
I
like
mean,
there were so it's fine.
There are other witch trials as well. But yeah.
Well, just any witch trials turns out to be a bad idea.
Yeah, it turns out. That was a nice pier they found that they did the water drowning on. That was
a nice pier that
pond.
they drowned Teal'c in. That was pretty good. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's a nice little
good.
pier.
What do you guys like that pier? I like that pier.
Yeah, whichever property they used, I feel like they had to have gone to like a provincial park or something, like public land, maybe.
Oh, there's plenty of them there, so the chances of you finding that pier are next to nothing.
Yeah, the thing I didn't understand was if you drowned your innocent, if you float your witch, but when they threw Teal'c in the lake, he had an anchor wrapped around his feet.
Yeah.
So
and a rock too, I think. So
yeah, so it was a rock. Yeah.
When you do that, one of those two things becomes impossible.
Listen, they're not the smartest.
I mean, the point isn't to test you, the point's to kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this guy was not doing these things, this guy was not being fair in what he was doing. I guess that's the question I'll ask. Do you guys think this guy was genuine in his like belief of this bullshit? About,
no.
The Satan being around and whatnot, or do you think he was being a dick?
He had power and he was happy about it. I think a lot of people in such positions, like, they buy their own bullshit in a sort of like halfway sort of way, but if it's ever advantageous for them to drop that belief, they'll drop it pretty quick.
Yeah,
you knew about like the Goa'uld and that these people
because it was an inherited position. So how much would he have known?
Well, knowledge like that generally gets passed down to whoever is in that position. Be like, oh, hey, you're going to be the next canon or whatever, and here's what's actually going on.
Haven't they been at this for 1,000 years, though? Like, knowledge usually doesn't survive that many generations that intact.
Yeah, but they had writing.
Yeah,
I guess. Like, these people were not advanced. They basically were stuck in the Dark Ages.
They were writing in Middle English and speaking modern English, so that's funny.
So here's the most Here's the most ironic thing about this episode. This is actually the one planet they've gone to where people might actually speak a form of English.
But it would have been a completely incomprehensible form of English.
So Middle English is like a bastard form of French, more so than it is like English.
Yeah,
But
well, it's like
closer
it's
to
like German and
English than-
French, like
Yeah.
Proto-German and
Well,
Proto-French.
it's like it's Old English and French smashed together, but Old English is like an offshoot of whatever German.
like
It's a
Proto-German.
Germanic. It's a Germanic language. Yeah.
But it's
And
not
like-
like when they showed up to
English and-
planets and they're speaking Egyptian.
Sure. English in general is just a bastard of several different languages and language families.
Yeah, it like if they were speaking Middle English, they might as well have been speaking a completely foreign language, because it would have been incomprehensible. Also, we don't
Yeah.
know what Middle English sounds like because it's a dead language. 'Cause-
Yeah. Also,
Ah.
everyone in the show just speaks English.
I mean, we can make a pretty good guess at what it sounded like.
you can make a guess, but you can also make a guess about Latin as well. You know,
Sure.
you can make a guess about ancient Egyptian. But yeah. So, any more thoughts on demons?
I like the bit where O'Neill was like complaining, saying that like, no, we killed him, and Kilk's like, no, we killed one Unas. He's like, I thought there was only one Unas. Uno, one, right? He's like, no, that's their species.
That was good.
That was a good little bit.
All right.
I mean,
but
I
let's
will
go-
say this: I don't hate this episode. I think this episode's fine.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. It's just slow.
Yeah, I think overall, I think it's an overall better episode than the last one, thanks to it
Well,
not really
it's got-
botching the ending. But like,
It's got the opposite problem where there's not a lot of great stuff happens until the end, and then the end is pretty good.
I still think there's some good banter in between that'll hold it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, like O'Neill's O'Neill. You know, it's like there's a recurring bit where he turns to Carson and goes, if I ever feel the urge to help people again, shoot me. And then later on, if Daniel ever feels the urge to help people again, shoot him. You know.
Oh yeah, because they get caught again because Daniel stopped them from drilling a hole in the girl's skull, which good on him. You don't want that to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, so like they keep trying to do they keep trying to help and keep being captured for it.
Yeah, which I will say this, like, what I'm not sure what it seemed like I couldn't quite put Simon's motives into focus here, because was he trying to do it because he thought that she actually had a demon in him and that it would survive, that would like free the demon from her, or was he going to do it because he knew she was going to get taken and suffer a fate worse than death? They don't seem to do a good job explaining if he truly knew what was going on, which is fine, I guess. But
Yeah, the whole thing with Mary is a bit messy. Also, the way they refer to her and like treat that character, I think it was originally intended to have like a much younger actress play that role.
yeah, said it's like a more or less a fully grown woman, more or less the same age as Simon. So it's kind of just weird.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that's supposed to be like a young teenager maybe, and instead it's like a 20-year-old woman. And they're like, just act like you're young. I don't know. So yeah, that's a bit that made a couple scenes a little bit awkward with that. But she's not really a character as much as just a plot device.
Yeah, she don't. I don't think she actually says much of anything throughout this.
She has a handful of lines, but not much.
Yeah, she follows the plot when they decide to roll down the hill. I guess.
Yeah,
she's a good roller.
and she grabs the
Definitely
staff.
rolls with the punches.
Yeah.
For them. But yeah, she's just along for the ride, basically.
Basically, this actress shows up again, but not in this series. She shows up again in Atlantis, playing a different character.
Yeah, so O'Neill is O'Neill and everything. I think this is the first time he goes A. At the beginning of the episode. when they come through. He says something snarky and then goes A at the end. So I think the Canadianness is rubbing off on him.
It's very possible.
I've never heard Yatsu say A before. I don't think. Anyway.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a stereotype or something.
Almost like it's a shitty stereotype, yeah.
A.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like a stereotype. Sorry, hang on. Oh geez, it's like it's a stereotype or something, eh? Let me tell you about the winter we're having.
I mean, but Toronto people don't say A there generally, right?
It's not common.
I don't.
Like out west, it might be more common.
I would say it's more common out east.
Out east, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Like the Maritimes.
All right, interesting. But I do think Richard Dean Anderson's having a bit of fun, like working in Canada that much.
Thought he was Canadian. Am I wrong about this?
No, I don't think he's Canadian.
I don't think he's Canadian. Pretty sure he's not Canadian.
Amanda Tapping's Canadian, though.
Yeah.
A lot of the actors in this show are Canadian, but I don't think Richard Dean Anderson is one of them.
Apparently, this Google says he was born in Minneapolis. So,
oh, okay. So maybe he's just being Minnesotan about it.
Yeah. That's why he says North.
That's why he says A, because he's from Minnesota. All right.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Okay, so I'm ready to move on. Are y'all ready to move on? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're done talking about the Bible. Now it's time for Season 3, Episode 9, Rules of Engagement. Does anyone want this one?
I feel like, Justin, you need to talk about this one. Mostly because I would talk about it, except my throat hurts, so... Should be you instead.
Okay.
Volunteering you.
I'm being voluntold to summarize Rules of Engagement.
Absolutely.
Stargate Season 3, Episode 9. So SG-1 they go to a random planet that also looks like a Canadian forest. And they see a Jaffa army bearing down on SG-11. And they're having the two groups they seem to be having a firefight at first, but SG-11 isn't shooting back. So they, try to get in contact with SG-11 and they're unable to. So they find an opportunity to sort of sneak forward, just sort of crawl down this hill and go forward, and nobody sees them. And for some reason, none of their orders really work. And suddenly, all of them find themselves shot with these. They're MP5s, but they shoot what look like lasers, and they wake up a little bit later. They were shot with stun guns, and they're in a training camp for Jaffa.
Humans.
I never got.
They're humans.
They're just humans. Okay, yeah, they're just humans captured from other places other than Earth, being trained to act like people from Earth for a stealthy invasion. I suppose a stealthy invasion of the U.S. because that's the only place they have any record of culture from. Anyway, so the humans that are there are training for Apophis. Apophis was apparently training these people up before he died, and they still think that Apophis is there and going to lead them to some kind of victory. They still think they're going to do the thing they're training for. They see Tilk and they recognize him as a leader. First off, the leader of the humans, the human training soldiers, he's playing his role, and then he slips up and Tilk calls him out on it. And that's when the whole facade drops. And they don't really keep up with it anymore at all throughout the episode. So they're not hostile at first because they all think Teal'c is still first prime of Apophis. And all the other SG team members are like his second in command, his followers.
His slaves.
Yeah, his slaves or whatever. but as time goes on, they slowly try to figure out. They slowly try to convince these people that Apophis is dead, and eventually somebody gets shot for real. The leader of the humans here on this planet gets shot for real, and he says that means that the real fight is going to begin, and everybody's going to get into a knockdown, drag out fight to see who survives, and whoever survives is going to be in Apophis's personal guard, is what they think is going to happen. And SG-1 brings the guy who got shot back to base. They heal him up. They show him a recording of Apophis dying. Then they go back and they knock everyone else out who's fighting them. They get a hold of something called a vacuum projector and reprogram it to play the video where Apophis dies, and then everyone drops their weapons and they all hug and kiss and say they're sorry.
I don't think they
Yeah.
kiss, but or
No,
they
they don't.
just-
No, they don't. They don't. They don't. They don't do that. They're just like, God damn it, this whole thing is done, and then they throw all their weapons down, and then that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
This episode, out of all the ones we've seen, I feel like this group of people is most primed for a Burger King.
Oh yeah.
Probably. But if I were to do if I were to do my one sentence summary of this episode, I would call it the episode where SG-1 shows a bunch of people a Faces of Death episode twice.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
I mean, that's
God.
more or less what they do. Like, hey, check out this guy's dying. It's like, if you think about it, it's kind of fucked up.
I mean, sure, but how else would they prove that Apophis was not an immortal god?
I guess. I think it's funny. Like the insinuation is that someone was just recording Apophis dying, and then they just kept it on.
I mean, I don't find
I
that
mean, they probably had him
unbelievable.
under observation.
I do find it unbelievable that the camera would be right up next to his face in the most cinematic angle possible. Incidentally, the cinematic angle that they used several episodes ago.
Yeah, almost like they just recorded a VHS tape of their old episode and put it on the television.
I wonder if we go back to that episode Serpent Song, if you can actually see the camera in the room where they have Apophis. I'm gonna try to see if I can't find a screen clip of it.
Maybe
I think that's just straight up a clip of that episode.
Maybe, but the actual thing is that that scene where he dies and he's doing that and he has that acting. There are people like talking to him as well, responding to what he's saying, and that's not in their VHS tape, which is actually kind of impressive, really. To just isolate what he's saying and not anyone else, and whatever security camera they're using to get that cinematic angle.
I mean, it's convenient too because like otherwise it would have been just someone saying like, oh, "I'm dying," and someone else on the other side saying, "Yeah, eat shit, Apophis, you fucking suck." Which,
That would have been less
sucks.
cinematic to show the teens.
Yeah. Jeez, these are all teenagers, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of teens.
It seems like everyone is like a little bit slightly under or slightly over 20.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say
that one kid looks 16.
Aged.
Do what?
Let's say that they're boot camp aged.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess.
That one kid looks like he's like 15 or 16, but like the leader they have, whose name I keep forgetting, Kyle Rogers. Yeah, and then the other guy, Nelson. They both look like they're in their early to mid 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess those aren't actually their names, like their names are like some incomprehensible bullshit, right?
Yeah,
they have garbled names. Yes, there's that gag. They also have like there's definitely an apostrophe somewhere in their name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where once they have him, the Kyle guy deprogrammed and they're debriefing him in the conference room at SGC, they ask him what his real name is. He says something that is incomprehensible, and he goes, "Your name's Kyle. Can we call you Kyle?" Which is funny.
Yeah.
They I feel like a lot of fantasy and science fiction of the 80s and 90s, if they wanted to make something sound weird and foreign, they just put extra apostrophes in it.
Yeah. Except for Intars, the name of the training weapons they use.
What is Intar short for? Intar.
Intar. That was a great joke.
It's a good line.
Because I think 2 episodes earlier in Deadman Switch, the Tok'ra guy had some like remote, I guess, heat-seeking laser balls guarding his cave.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I guess revisiting that, O'Neill asks Teal'c what they are, and he says some long, complicated thing. It's like tag minutes, something on. And then there's a pause, and Teal'c just kind of like side eyes O'Neill and says, "Tags." So
I didn't catch that this was a follow-on gag from that, but now that you pointed it out, it absolutely is.
Oh yeah, so there is some good lines in this. O'Neill fails his speech checks so many times when they're initially trying to talk to these kids in the camp.
Yeah. I feel like that's
What a dumb
partially like
idea.
Teal'c's fault. Like saying like, "Oh yeah, you tell him, O'Neill," where Neil responds like, "Oh, it's canceled due to rain." It's like, yeah, that's not. There's no way.
That's some
would work.
that's some real Disco Elysium for failing your check.
O'Neill has both the highest charisma stat and the worst luck.
Yeah, I mean he's more or less just like he's not even trying, basically.
Okay, I'm just picturing an SG-1 game playing as O'Neill, but with the Disco Elysium conversations and internal monologue system.
I guess.
But yeah, so he fails his speech checks repeatedly. Teal'c doesn't. Teal'c really should have been more in charge, dealing with the kids. But the main conflict in the first half is when they are all stun gunned for interrupting the war game. Their weapons were just mixed in with the Intars, and they're like, "We need to get our live ammo weapons back from these kids."
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the conflict in the first half of the episode is we need to get our guns back. Let's tell the kids to cancel the war games for today. Have everyone show up and turn their guns in so we can get our stuff back. But they failed
refuse
that.
to cancel it. The kids kind of just play this off as like, "Oh, you're trying to test us. We passed the test, right?" That goes really well because then that's when Ken Rogers, whatever his name is, gets shot.
Yeah, because they go out to try to actually. Kyle Rogers, yeah, but SG-1 and
Kenny Rogers. It's
Kenny Rogers.
It's not actually Kenny Rogers, but it's Kenny Rogers now.
Go out into the danger zone to try to stun these kids in the war game and get their weapons back. They run into the guy that has the real staff weapon. Rogers gets staffed, which is a whoopsie. I guess Strong First Blood signals the final challenge where everyone take sides and then kill each other, and the side that everyone who lives gets promoted or goes on to become warriors for Apophis.
I guess
Which is
really awkward.
It's a really bad way to train people.
It is. That's like some straight up like some anime bullshit.
I mean, the whole plan is just idiotic to begin with. Because what
you train
is the plan?
all of these people and you only want half of them to actually fight for you. It's like, why wouldn't you just have double the soldiers?
And you're planning on dressing all these humans up as SG personnel, but you have to send them through the Stargate. I think SG Command is going to know who is and who isn't their own people.
Yeah, like Apophis was cooking up some kind of a harebrained scheme and then just abandoned it halfway through.
He just forgot to cancel the funding for the project.
I mean, we've seen Goa'uld abandon things before. Abandon people to their fate after getting bored with something.
That is true. Yeah, so I guess Apophis might have had like several schemes brewing before Sokar got to him, and this is just one of them.
I assume he's got a lot of. I assume he had a lot because he controlled a large portion of the galaxy. for a while, for a long time.
So just imagine all these other schemes that are just out there in the galaxy, rotting somewhere.
Here's a fun thing to think about. This episode basically just cements the fact that they killed Connor off screen. Remember Connor,
Oh right.
the guy who they put in charge of SG-11?
Oh no, I forgot he got. Oh no, he did die off screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh rip, I guess.
Hmm. I mean, I'm pretty sure they weren't going to bring that actor back. Not for anything. It's just I feel like they were done with that character on his second appearance when he basically wasn't even playing himself. He was playing a dude pretending to be him.
Yeah. Oh well. Rip. Connors. We hardly knew you. For real, we had no idea who you were.
I mean, I remembered him.
You did. The only one.
Jeez, guys.
So I really like the cold open here because that's like a fucked up cold open to have. I mean, anytime when there's a team life in the cold open, you know it's gonna be good.
Yeah, they do a good job of like slowing everything down and the slow, like everyone realizing like how screwed they are and just getting got or getting blasted each one by one.
O'Neill got hit multiple times.
Yeah.
Good thing you're not.
So I guess that was the reason why they weren't shooting, is that they were leading those guys into more or less like a trap that they had set up.
Yeah, with like the spider holes and all that.
How did you like them being consistent with the fact that Gould keep trying to use children as weapons?
It is oddly consistent.
Yeah, oddly consistent. I guess he might have thought third time's the charm, right? Or would this have been hypothesis third time or a second time?
With
His
children,
second
his
time.
second time, yeah.
Because one of those times was Nerty.
She only tried the children thing once. Second time she tried using invisibility.
I mean, that was the first time she tried it in the show, but isn't it implied that she'd done that a couple other times?
Oh, I guess, yeah, they did imply that.
The good old bomb trick never fails.
Mm-hmm. What was it? Bomb in the child, or disease in the tooth?
Yeah.
That begs the
Disease
question:
in the
could they have
tooth
just
was
added all these
apophis.
kids? Would that have been a solution too?
Oh, well, see, so these kids weren't brainwashed, so zatting them wouldn't have done any. Well, I mean, they were brainwashed, but not with the magic juice, just like the good old fashioned way.
Mm-hmm.
So zatting them wouldn't have done anything.
I mean, it would have been funny.
Well, yeah. I mean, they had the intars, and that's as good as zatting for knocking people out.
That was one
I
of the
guess.
notes I wrote down. Now you have like two different ways to stun people in the lore.
Yeah, but do
Like-
they use these again? I feel like they don't.
They
They
do.
do.
Oh, they do, huh? Okay.
It's
Yeah.
very limited.
Yeah. But it's like more pragmatic than the Zats, because now all you have to do is switch a mag and you now can write out of the whole, you can write the Zats out of the show now if you wanted to.
But they don't.
Yeah, but they sure don't.
Right.
Which I guess in the first batch of this episodes, they told us what the full name of the Zat was. Except
I mean,
I think O'Neill just says Zat gun, right? It's like, yeah, we're just gonna call it the Zat gun. It's fine.
Oh, that was in Deadman Switch, where
Yeah.
where the guy keeps saying Zat Nicotel, and
Yeah,
then O'Neill
that's why
says
it's in the
Zat
first
gun.
batch
He's
of
like,
these episodes, yeah.
oh,
I thought we'd
yeah.
heard that. I thought we'd heard that term before this.
We have. We've heard it a lot. The very first time they were used, like that's the first time they used the gag of Teal saying the name of something and then O'Neill abbreviating it. That's where the gag starts, is with the Zat Nicotels. So they're able to. So Pappas is able to just get like a sample of of SG team gear and then just mass produce MP5s.
Oh, it's not just
And,
the MP5s either.
Like 50 cals, mortars,
Tow missiles.
like the tents and equipment. So the Ghoul could just mass produce this stuff if they wanted to.
Like,
Yeah.
perfectly.
Perfectly.
I mean, clearly he was playing the long game with this, right? Like the plan was to more or less just insert these people into human society and then I guess attack at any given moment.
Yeah, I guess.
Which I feel like they all would have gotten figured out. Like that one
I
line
mean,
where the kid was like, "Oh yes, America has cotton and corn." It's like, "Oh yeah,
oh,
that
oh no, I have that written down. That's my favorite line in the episode.
it
Uh,
is. It is a funny moment. I'll give you that.
because Rogers is trying to show off how well he's been studying
Yeah,
to O'Neill, and he says, "Corn and cotton are indigenous to North America," like very proudly. And then O'Neill just immediately goes, "That information could save your life one day."
yeah. I mean, he's being basically being a sarcastic asshole this entire time.
Oh yeah, well, except for during the firefights, and he's very serious in the firefights.
Yeah,
Well, more
he
so
slaps
just
that
him
kid.
yelling
When that
like,
kid when that
Oh
kid
yeah,
runs ahead, he slaps him in the head and says, "What the fuck were you doing?"
yeah.
gets very serious
Yeah.
when it's gunfire.
I do like the bit where he's just yelling at Carter like, "Any day now, Carter."
All right, we're trying to plug a USB into this alien holographic projector.
Yeah, I think it would have been so much funnier if they were just like plugging in a VHS, like a
A
VHS
camcorder or
deck in
something.
there. Just like where the 3 plugs go. This thing's got those, right? Boop boop boop. The way that played out, I still think is very funny. Like at a certain point, instead of her like overwriting what was on there, she kept what was on there and then just added the bit of him dying in the end. So it's like Apophis shows up and he's like, "Ah, listen to me, my words," and it just cuts to him like dying on his deathbed, like, "Ah." It's like, well, that's fucking gnarly.
Maybe it was easier to just append instead of replace.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm amazed that nobody asked for like more context. Like when
It's like,
watching,
hey, what the fuck was that?
That's your god dying. Enjoy.
And then all the guys who got stunned and didn't see that will need to be told when they wake up.
Yeah, they got
I
to show
imagine
it
they'll
a
just
third
play
time.
it. Yeah, they'll just play it several times,
Yeah, play it as many times as we need.
which is fine.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
does wrap up pretty easily.
If Gino was here, he'd know what to say.
Which, also, so they're going into what they know is like a big firefight to like do a sneaking mission, and they bring Daniel along to the firefight that they know is going to
Yeah.
happen.
Mhm.
You just shouldn't you just have SG-3 with you at that point. And so it's like, hey, we need to laser gun all these idiot kids. Let's bring the Marines with us.
Let's
I mean,
not
that would
bring.
make sense.
Let's not bring Daniel.
hey, to be
Let's
fair,
not bring a civilian.
Daniel has
to be
proven
fair,
himself several times.
Yeah, like you get him like dual wielding pistols or like an SMG, he can take out a few guys.
So it was very funny because like that one episode where they're with the warehouse where they storm in and Daniel's taking point. It's like, why is Daniel on point?
I mean, sometimes the writers should forget that Daniel's more or less just an archaeologist.
Yeah,
But isn't he supposed to be like Indiana Jones?
not at first.
Not at this
No.
point. Sure, like I'll buy that at this point. He has been through enough shit to be an action hero guy. He still doesn't have like. There's still like training here or something. He maybe should have gone through at some point. I guess he probably did off screen, but
Give him some like firearm handling lessons. You'd hope.
yeah.
Mhm. It's
He's there
possible.
for target saturation.
Oh boy. We're not gonna talk about the face paint, right?
No,
Nope.
it's
Okay.
whatever.
All right. So we're not talking about that. It never happens again. We're just not gonna.
It's
Go
not.
into-
They weren't trying to do what it
I
looks
know what
like.
it's
It
supposed.
was just
I
camouflage.
know what it's supposed to be. I know that it
I've never seen
looks
Predator.
weird, and I know that the way to fix it would have been better lighting.
Yeah. Not shooting on an overcast day in British Columbia would have helped. Yeah.
But even better lighting in that elevator that they're getting off of when you first see them.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it enough, so we might as well say it.
So they do camo face paint, like in Predator.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, when they go back in second time to the planet.
Yeah, but instead it just looks like blackface.
Yeah.
Instead, it just looks like blackface. I mean,
Like they get
Yeah.
so
in close up, you can see like the green and brown in there. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's there.
the very first image of it you see though, the light is behind all the characters, so you can't really tell that this is like green and brown and black mixed on their faces. It just looks dark brown and black, and you're like, hold on a minute. This whole thing would have been solved if the first either A, they didn't do it in the first place, or B, the first impression of it would have been just shine a light directly on their faces so that everyone can see the actual color instead of just a bunch of shadow where you can tell that there's paint on their faces but can't tell what color it is. And then the audience immediately knows what this is, and then it's over. And you don't have to think about it anymore.
Like, show them putting it on in the gate room.
Yeah, or that.
Yeah.
Or make it more green than brown and black, because O'Neill has almost no green on his face, and it just looks like he's wearing blackface, which is terrible.
It just looks like he's doing a Justin Trudeau. Yeah,
they walked. They walked out of the elevator, and I did a double take.
That's a spit take moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute,
it's just bad lighting. There's no like weird nefariousness to it.
It's bad lighting. I don't think there's anything nefarious to it, but it sure does look bad.
Yeah,
and the actors don't seem comfortable
how,
with that stuff on their faces.
No,
I mean,
although that
that
could be the paint. Painted. Yeah, it could be the paint itself. But yeah.
Also, I don't think everyone has it, right? It's just
everyone
has it.
Everyone has it.
Everyone has it too.
Oh yeah. Teal'c has it. It's just O'Neill has the most of it for some reason. Okay. Unfortunate.
I have to wonder if that was a Richard Dean Anderson call.
Oh no!
I hope he didn't think this was cool and then just made everyone do it, because he's like a big producer on this show at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the fact that they never go back to this again, that means that someone or multiple people spoke up afterwards.
Or maybe someone with money bags came up to them and said, "Hey, look, you can't do this one."
Or it's like someone at Showtime is like reviewing the episode and just like spits out their water when that scene cuts. But yeah,
immediate phone call.
Just like, what the fuck are you doing up there in Vancouver? Oh boy. So that's the last note I have. How about all of you?
Yeah, that's the last note I have really on this one.
I have two quotes written down for this episode that I thought were pretty good. So the first one was early on in the episode where Teal'c is introducing O'Neill. This is Colonel O'Neill. He is much beloved by Apophis, and O'Neill just gives a glance at Teal'c for saying that.
Gives him the side eye.
Yeah.
That was
and
good.
Then the other quote I liked is when they have Kyle back at SG-1. They're trying to heal him. They're trying to explain to him about Apophis. And he's like, this food is poison. And Jack just replies, it's hospital food. Of course it is.
Oh, right, because he's refusing to eat, and O'Neill's trying to get him to eat a sandwich.
The tuna fish sandwich.
Which he convinces him to eat by putting it in front of his nose. I guess that's all it took.
Yeah, I guess it was hungry.
Maybe pretty hungry.
Maybe he was very hungry.
Pan Sam.
Well, I mean, he eats the other half. Demonstrates it's not poisoned.
Oh yeah, I guess there's that.
He's also smartass about the whole time.
But he's a smartass throughout this entire episode. Honestly, like the bits with O'Neill just acting like a smartass and a dumbass are my favorite parts. I like when Teal'c hands it off to him and he's just like, "Oh yeah, it's canceled due to rain." Like it's so dumb.
It's canceled due to rain. And like he's kind of looking away. It's like yeah, you can't think of anything. It's
Yeah,
pretty good.
it feels like O'Neill is like trying to make it so people stop trying to put him on the spot like this by just saying the dumbest thing possible every single fucking time, and yet they just keep doing it. But hey, I'm all for it.
It's pretty good. There's one point when they wake up in the tent at the beginning. That one guy goes aggro on them for no reason and calls Daniel Four Eyes.
Yeah.
Which gets a look from Daniel, and then O'Neill's like, "Easy, big fella." So I guess that's how you get Daniel to fight you, perhaps.
Call him Four Eyes.
Yeah.
Actually, here's a question. Did anyone notice like the weird scar they had on Carter in the beginning of this episode?
Did like Amanda Tapping just like get cut on something and they just kept it there?
Maybe.
It seems like.
It's really only there for this episode. It's gone in the next episode.
Yeah, and it's not there in the opening scene. I don't think, or maybe they make up over it. Like she got cut on her face somehow, so they like put makeup on it for the first scene and then take it off. It's like, oh yeah, she got that cut when they all got shot. I don't know. That is odd. Anyway, that's enough of rules of engagement. I say, I'm decreeing as one who's much beloved by Apophis. And moving on to our final episode of the batch. Season 3, Episode 10, Forever in a Day. Does anyone want this one?
It's the one where Teal'c shoots Daniel Jackson's wife.
It's the one where Teal'c shoots Daniel Jackson's wife, and nothing else happens.
No,
I feel
really.
I feel like you should pop a new lozenge and take this one. Yatsu.
Are you sure? No, I feel like I summarized it pretty well there.
Yeah, but you gotta do a little bit more. It's just a little bit more. There's one more detail.
I need time.
It shouldn't take you all that long.
If anyone else wants to take it, by all means.
Okay, so the Aberdonians have been abducted by Harrower, and I guess Amunet. You know, Amunet is the Gould, and Share is Daniel's wife from Abydos. You should all remember this. It's on the test.
Yeah.
They go to the dune set, except now it's spring. It's a bunch of ragweeds growing everywhere on the dune. They get some extras out of a human pen in the middle of this dune. There's a giant firefight with way too many Jaffa just screaming over the hill.
Okay.
There's
they basically Starship Troopers over that hill.
They sure do.
No,
there's a mount. There's a good rocket launcher shot from Carter.
Carter picks up a rocket launcher and is like, "Fuck you."
Technically, a recoilless gun.
Oh, whatever. Okay. Do you know which armament that is? Is that something?
It's the AT-4.
It's AT-4. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Swedish made.
The thing that came to my mind is Serious Sam games have a recurring early joke where you shoot there's a headless guy that runs down a hill with the 2 bombs, and you shoot them and they blow up, and Sam makes a joke of some sort, and then like a dozen or whatever of them, like 50 of them, come running over the hill, and they do the same thing here. That's what came to mind, and I had a good cackle at that. I don't think anybody else would have thought of that. But.
I mean, we haven't got a good Jaffa bonsai charge since season 1, episode 1, so I was all for it.
Honestly, the combat scene in the beginning of this episode, I think is very good.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. There's a 50 cal. There's a recoilless gun. There's a whole bunch of extras just screaming down the hill. There's some good pyro.
Bunch of people get mowed down by a turret. It's very good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Daniel is running off into the middle distance to a yurt where Amunet is. He goes in to Amunet. He goes to I guess capture Amunet. She hand devices him. She gauntlets him, and then he can't bring himself to shoot her. And then Teal'c busts in. with a staff weapon, sees that
Mhm.
Jackson is moments away from death, and then he blasts Aminette Share straight in the chest. She dies.
Yeah, and
And
then the episode's over.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Uh,
Stuff happens in between, but that's like a fade to black, and turns out the entire time when she's basically brain blasting him,
okay, yeah.
she is
So
one
the actual episode is
killing him.
It's Stargate Inception.
Yeah.
yeah. So while he's getting his brain rearranged, he I guess has a vision inception thing of I guess living out like a couple weeks or so after Aminette gets blasted, going through the grief process. But then Share keeps like appearing to him in visions, telling him about the boy. He has to find the boy.
Yeah. And that he needs to like forgive Teal'c for,
For killing
shooting
her.
her.
And he tries to resign from the SGC. There's a whole thing about that. There's some trippy scene transitions going on
Mhm.
because it's Daniel just dreaming within a dream within a dream.
Yeah.
And then I guess he eventually does forgive Teal'c for shooting her. He does commit himself to finding the boy. And then it cuts back to the tent and Teal'c blasts Aminette.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah. So one thing I want to bring up, and this is like something that's maybe just a little bit petty of me, so after she gets shot, and keep in mind this is at the very end of the episode. So after she gets shot, and like more or less, Amunet is like gone, and at this point, Share is talking to Daniel Jackson for the last time. I don't even remember what she says, but at one point, at the point where
She
she
just says
dies,
I love you or something.
she says, "Whatever." That doesn't matter. The point I'm talking to, when she actually dies, she closes her eyes and then moves her head, and that is so dumb that they didn't reshoot that. They couldn't have done a better
probably
death
should have
scene for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what's the part of this episode you guys want me to pick apart first?
Dan
I
Jackson's
don't like
apartment
this
for me.
episode. I understand this episode is important for lore. I don't like it.
I flip back and forth. Like there were times in this episode where I was like, okay, they're fine, they're doing fine, and then there were times in the episode where I was like, what were they thinking?
Mm-hmm.
It wind up like at first I thought it was going to be all just a dream, and then they're like, oh no, he woke up from the dream already, and he's just going to keep having visions. And at the end of it, they're like, no, really, it was all just a dream, and I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like the first 5 minutes of this.
Oh yeah,
I thought we would finally get like Stargate Call of Duty, and then the whole mind meld thing happened. And the thing that I keep getting stuck on and I can't get over, Teal'c was standing like 5 feet from Share. Why couldn't he just shot her in the leg or in the arm?
Or smacked her in the face.
or kicked her
or
and
just-
restrained her,
Yes,
or
like
body slammed her. Like any sort of injury that results in her being knocked out, incapacitated, but maybe not dead.
like no one shoots to wound in this show intentionally.
Damn straight.
And,
Yeah.
and to be honest, this was a very unsatisfying end to Share's story.
Was there
Like,
anything done
she
well
didn't-
with Share's story?
She didn't have a story. She was a motivator for Daniel Jackson, which
Yeah,
there's some writings on that kind of character
Mhm.
writing for women, but we're not going to dwell on that right now.
but I felt like we deserved more than this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like her appearances are get kidnapped, show up pregnant, get kidnapped, get stripped naked in the first episode, show up pregnant
The
much
movie-
later, and then die.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Oh, sure,
she
the
played
movie
but
where she plays
like,
a
this was-
mute woman who can barely understand anything and gives herself to Daniel pretty much immediately. Yes, excellent female character writing.
Mhm.
good points, but I don't know. I just had higher actions for Shara's story. To me, what happened in the movie is important. It was kind of the whole motivation for Michael Shank's character, and this felt lazy. It felt a little
It
too
felt
convenient.
it felt like someone wanted to wrap this up and move on to something else.
It should at least been the finale to like a season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a good
I
season
have
finale.
I
You're
have
right.
another theory, but I don't think it entirely lines up. And
Go ahead.
I'll tell it to you all right
Go
now.
ahead.
It's almost like Michael Shanks was dating this actress and that it wasn't working out and she was removed from the show. Now I can't prove that, but the timeline is pretty close. The timeline is pretty close.
They did have
I
a
That's what I'll
kid.
say.
There's a Reddit post I need to go back and find because I think
Mhm.
it talked about this theory, and I believe the conclusion is the timeline doesn't add up, but I'll have to go back and find
Yeah,
that
it
Reddit
doesn't
post.
100% line up, but it's pretty close. In fact, it may be the other way where like this may have caused the breakup. I don't know.
Yeah,
It doesn't really matter. I don't want to get into the personal lives of actors.
right,
Anyways,
right.
Yeah,
but like
though it is, keeping in mind that they were dating, had a kid together, and
mhm,
then weren't dating at some point.
yeah,
And while all that was happening, she shows up once a season to
yeah,
either get
exactly.
kidnapped or be pregnant or get killed.
Yeah. Like essentially nothing good happens with this character. And which I guess is kind of like a mercy to just get rid of her at this point because like they didn't do anything all that cool with her, I would say.
No,
So
they didn't do anything
in
with the
one way it's
character.
kind of like
This is a write off for the
It's
yeah.
more
show.
wasted potential.
It's
Yeah.
probably for the best they didn't do much with this. The way they've handled this character, quantity would not have been a quality of its own here.
I
So
Yeah,
guess it's just
I
that there's so many episodes where they turn to this being his motivation, like what was the guy's name, Martouf?
yeah, that's
yeah.
the father-in-law.
Like the conversation with old Daniel Jackson and Martooth's body, like saying like, "No, I'm gonna find her. Like I'm going to save her." Like this whole thing, which
Oh,
I mean, to
Michello, you mean?
oh
Or
sorry, Michello, yeah, Michello. Sorry, not Martouf's the Toker guy.
no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it feels like I think what Tyler said earlier is just like, yeah, it feels like they're just writing this character off because they don't know what to do with her, and like I don't know, it feels like wasted potential. I don't like it when they do things like this, especially when like for the most part this has been this character's motivation. At the very least, you need to do a better job setting up that character's new motivations um, when you do something like this, and I don't think they do a good job of that. That being said, I think Michael Shanks does a very good performance in this episode. And honestly, even the actress who plays Charade does a very good performance in this episode.
Yeah.
Aside from the time
It's
when she dies and doesn't do it properly.
I think I don't here's the thing. I I don't like this episode much. I also think they could have done it way, way, way worse than they did.
I guess.
It's it could have been a lot
So, but here's the
different.
thing. I think they also could have done it better. Like the
Oh yeah,
random
absolutely.
small tent that was pitched in the middle of this battlefield that Amina just happened to be hanging in. Like, why not just have this happen in a field where Teal can't get to them in time? So he makes the decision to shoot her from afar, rather than him being right fucking there within
Yeah.
arm's reach, able to use this giant staff to smack her in the face while she's busy. Like
Yeah.
they could do a better job setting up stuff like that. Like have him over the hill just so that the other people can't see him. Teal goes to check on him and then he sees this happening. Like there's fundamental things that they do in this that just it makes it worse. and you don't have to like. There's no reason to do it like that. Like, did someone just buy that tent prop and they were just like, no, we're gonna use it. I bought it. Like, what's the?
Oh, I
Like, I
bet
don't
that.
get it.
I bet that tent prop's been around since that episode where Sam had to fight what's his face.
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
No.
Yeah. It might be the same tent.
Might be the same tent. And also that tent interior is probably a different set entirely somewhere else. But yeah, it's there. This leaves a lot of plot holes, but I say rip the Band-Aid off.
I guess, but it feels like too soon.
I don't want to say rip the Band-Aid off. Like, when you say rip the Band-Aid off, it feels like you're absolving the show of any wrongdoing this episode might have. And I don't agree with that. There's a better way to solve this plot than this episode. I mean, that my reaction to this episode is, well, I guess that's resolved, and then move on. Like, I'm not super offended that this was how it was resolved. But I think there's, I guess the writing talents, or maybe the nuance and balancing on a knife's edge that maybe this plot would have required isn't a quality these writers have. But there's, I agree that this should have been a season ending 2-parter that's a lot more involved. This has been a major plot for a major character the entire show, and to have it wrapped up all in a dream is real dumb, especially when, very obviously, as has been pointed out, Teal'c, a large, strong man, could have simply overpowered her while she was distracted.
Yeah, and like, even if you look at what this episode actually is, which is more or less just Sharae beaming in the 5 stages of grief into Daniel Jackson's head to make things a bit easier for him, I guess.
So that he could just get over it conveniently in about 5 seconds.
Yeah. Like,
he wakes up next episode and he and Teal'c are friends and all is good.
Yeah, but like, what's the thought process? Is Sharae just looking in the corner of the right eye? It's like, oh, this guy's about to shoot me. Better beam some fucking closure into this man's head.
Or was she just beaming like the find the baby stuff to him, and then he just like processes that as the going through the 5 stages of grief and period.
And now, but it wasn't just find the baby. She kept saying, "You need to forgive Teal'c." She kept saying it.
Yeah, like, and now, like, they get to reset to Teal'c is forgiven, and he's basically, like, their relationship is basically the same. And also, Daniel Jackson keeps virtually the same motivation, but for a different character.
Which I don't think they do a good job resolving that either. But we're not there yet, so. Jeez, like, I think that's the thing that annoys me about this, is that this is them like hastily switching out Daniel Jackson's motivation when they don't need to. Like, there's no reason to do this.
I mean, like I said, there might have been a reason on the back end to do it.
Maybe, but also, like, if you okay, so here's the thing: we have switched out actors for characters in TV shows before. I don't see why this actress couldn't have been a different person if there was some reason
if
why
that was the problem.
What's her face had to leave. Yeah. It's not like she had been a major presence in the show thus far, so swapping her out with another woman that looks somewhat similar would not have been a huge issue. You could just say her name out loud. Frankly, I didn't remember what Sharae looked like by the time I saw this. So
wow.
Jeez.
I mean, I think you don't even need to go that far where you have to swap her out. I think, like, you could just make her not show up for a while. It's not that big of a deal.
Or you could just ask adults to act like adults. Please.
So, but again, like, if that was part of it, we have no idea. I also have my own idea, which, all right. So, Peter DeLuise has showed up as a episode director a few times before. Actually, for 2 episodes in Dispatch, both this episode and Demons. But he's been around for a little bit since the back into season 2. He will end up directing 1/4 of all Stargate episodes, and he will be the producer from like season 6 on for the show.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, I like the seasons where he's the producer on it. So if there is like a new or like different creative steering coming in to the show in season 3, there might be this sense of let's wrap up shit from the movie and make this it's and just disconnect from this baggage that we've been hanging on to and just
Sure.
do something else.
Sure, but I feel like this show has moved on into its own identity at this point. So,
But there's this baggage that's just hanging out in the back.
but you could resolve. I still think you can resolve it better than this.
Oh yeah, they could have
Um,
had a better script for this episode and like that, you know.
Well, so that's the thing. I
actually
don't
resolved.
think the script for this episode is bad. I just think
yeah.
it feels it comes out of nowhere, and it's just like, hey, Daniel Jackson's motivation's gone. Here's this new motivation we gave.
I also think we're coming at this from the. I'm still not trying to absolve the show of anything, but I also think we're coming at this from the perspective of modern television, and I'm putting air quotes around television because everything these days is super serialized. Whereas back then it was an episode of the week thing. You have an episode to resolve this, to set this up and resolve it. And so I think that does need to be taken into account. I still don't think it was. I don't still think, we should be giving this episode a bad review. But
The part in the
Yeah.
middle where it turns into like a character study kind of thing for Jackson and just Michael Shanks just acting.
yeah,
That stuff is pretty good.
Yeah, I
yes,
agree.
like individual parts and individual ideas of this episode are fine. It's mostly just like it feels quick and cheap.
Agreed.
Because of the ending, right?
Yeah.
Not just because of the
Yeah, a
ending.
lot of-
Like it feels like this could have been like a 3-parter where they had 3 different episodes and like having like they could have done the back instead of it being a weird thing where he's just being dreamed with the dream beam mixed with the death beam. This is all happening at once. This could have been something that they actually had just played out, and I think it would have worked better. I still would have been pissed off that they got rid of Share out of nowhere, unceremoniously, in the way that they did. But I think that would have made for like you could have actually had 2 or 3 good episodes out of this plot line.
We're gonna have so much fun with Pretense in a few weeks.
Yeah, I know.
Great.
Don't get me started. But like it's I don't know. I feel like I'm running myself in a circle here, but like it feels it really does just feel like it feels like some guy saying, "Yeah, let's wrap this shit up." Like I don't want to deal with this later, so we're going to deal with it now, and we're going to deal with it one way or
And
the
that
other.
guy
And
might have been Peter DeLuise, or it might have been a personal thing. There's
yeah, and
any
we don't know.
number of things that could have happened.
We don't know. Like that's just me like lining up the timeline at one point, saying, "Hey, this is kind of close," but and I don't want to start any rumors or anything like that, right? Like for all we know, like they're great friends. Who knows, right?
If this seems like the kind of rumor that's already been started, so I don't think you're starting anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Perpetuating, perhaps.
I mean,
But
as somebody who's like a fan of the show, I feel like this is a tremendous middle finger.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like it feels like a middle finger to Daniel Jackson's character. Like really. And I know like this not being the character's send off is weird. And if I feel like they write a really weird episode around it in order to keep him on in the show, like that character. And it's just I don't know. I don't like the premise. I think the execution is fine, but I just have an overall problem with the premise of this episode. I don't think you need to do this yet. Even if your intention is to wrap this story up, you don't need to do this now. You could do this 2 seasons from now with a different actress. It wouldn't have mattered. Or like, does anyone disagree with me on that? Like,
Yeah,
I'm just.
I agree. I do
agree.
think we should probably move on to any other notes about this episode, because I do think this is I do think there's more to this episode than just like the battle scene, which is pretty good, and the death scene, which is pretty annoying. There's
I mean, the
the
death scene
Rothman
happens
thing.
at the very end of the episode.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
we need-
I mean, also at the beginning, she dies multiple times.
Yeah, I think we need to talk about the strained relationship between Tilk and Daniel in this episode. There's a quote where Tilk goes up to Daniel and he's like, "Is there not some form of human ritual in which I may ask your forgiveness?" And just the weight of that scene,
And Daniel's just like, no. Or,
and walks away. Yeah,
yeah.
And then it's all just a dream, which
Yeah,
makes
and I
it
think
pointless.
Yeah, I think
but
that's what's
that's not till the
the
end.
frustrating bit about this episode is that like all this cool stuff happens in between, and like it doesn't actually happen.
Yeah, there's like actually there's good drama in the middle of this
Yeah.
episode.
And that's
Like-
why I brought up the thing where it's like if you had actually just played this out and done it like a 2-episode thing, like that would have been like totally fine and good.
Or it's
Yeah,
a one episode
but-
thing, and it's just, he goes through the process, and we wrap up at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah, like, or
It-
just like him waking up and not believing that she's dead until he's like just that whole sequence is
Yeah, that whole
is really
sequence
well
is good.
done. His giant apartment. I can't get over the giant apartment.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or actually, even
Cool
when
stuff.
he goes to sleep and sees her for the first time, and then he wakes up again, and then like he kind of realizes what's going on, and I think the doctor asks him like, I think it's like a very trivial question. It's like, how are you doing? And he basically just says, I'm not good, like or
it's
something
like,
like that.
it's like she's like, how are you feeling? And he goes, not good. Yeah.
Yeah, like all that stuff is like really good, and like I guess that's what frustrates me too about this episode is that like that technically didn't happen.
Yeah, that's on his
So-
head.
Yeah, it was all a dream.
And then, like, the funeral scene was very dramatic, well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which so is the implication that he had to do that funeral twice?
Yeah, probably.
Like that's kind of fucked up.
It's fucked up, yeah.
At least he knew what he was going to say for the second go around.
Mhm. They did get that guy back again. I forget his name.
Oh yeah, I was bringing it up. So Rothman is an actual guy, not a figment of
Mhm.
Daniel's imagination. Just an actual guy Daniel knows. He will
Yeah.
return. Rothman will return.
Yeah, and he was in the beginning of this episode too, so he wasn't like a dream at that point. But
Oh, he's there.
yeah, he was there.
The battle.
Yeah, he was
No.
one of the people that they freed from the thing. He's the one who said
What?
that like
No,
he's
no,
the one who
no.
pointed in the direction where Sheree
You're
was.
talking about the guy who plays Share's father.
Oh no,
Not
oh,
Rothman.
he's just a flaw.
Yes, that's who I'm talking about. Who did you think I was talking about?
I was talking about the guy that get to replace Daniel on the team for like.
Oh
5
no,
minutes.
yeah, he's a real person too. But yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, you should have called him Robert. I know him as Robert.
I forgot the first name. I just knew Rothman.
Yeah. Which just like okay, can we talk about that character for a bit? Because like this is kind of why I wish this was just happening. Because the idea that there's this guy who replaces Daniel, like O'Neill just fucking hates him. Like that's very funny, right?
Yeah, that's real good.
And even when
And
they
that
replace
should've
him,
actually
it's just like, what does that mean? It's like, I don't know. It means you're gone. But why?
I
What do
mean,
you want me to
there
tell
is
you
a
about it?
point. Yeah, there is a point where O'Neill is complaining to Hammond that he's got
the
two
guy slows
left.
them
That
down.
Rothman's got 2 left feet, and Daniel Jackson like walks into the room and he's like, Rothman was like what is it, like a decathlon champion or something like that.
Yeah, like in college. Yeah. It was like, oh, so 2 left feet, huh?
Yeah. But he looks like a dweeb, right? Like, and I think they do that on purpose. But still,
Oh yeah, no, that's not casting. It's like, hey, you look like a nerd.
yeah. And just like even the scene where like Daniel joins the SGC again, and like he just kind of walks into the room, and Rothman's just kind of like, I guess I'll leave. I guess fuck me, I guess.
I think at that point he's relieved. He's like, oh thank goodness.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't actually relieved. I don't know. I need to stop saying that. But like, so the scene after this, I think, is very funny because they basically more or less end up like area that they always are in, except they've keyed out all the green to be purple, so it looks really fucking weird.
Yeah.
They basically just like chroma the scene so that it's like, well, we're gonna turn all these trees hot pink and purple, but it's literally just Vancouver, and
they should do that more.
Weird. Yeah,
they probably should. Cool. When they went through that, I was like, finally, a place that looks kind of alien.
And of course, it was all Daniel's head.
Yeah.
Daniel dreams of places that actually look alien, when in actual fact, it's all British Columbia.
It's British Columbia all the way down.
Which, like, I guess that part's weird, where he like just jumps through the gates, and I guess they're talking about like, oh, where did he go? I don't know. Like, why do you even need to have that scene in there? Because the next scene he's just talking to his weird like hallucination dad, or like a father-in-law, about what his motivation now needs to be, and then he wakes up.
He goes back to the tent and talks to he's, I guess in his dream he gates back to the planet with the tent, goes back to the tent and meets Shara there. And then she tells him to no, seriously, find the boy.
Yeah, and also forgive Teal'c, but also find the boy.
But seriously, find the boy.
And then because we're back the boy to is being brain blasted, and then pop.
Yeah, so I guess the vocabulary word for this episode is harcesis.
Yeah, that's a thing that they use a couple of times, but it's not used too often in this show, I think.
No, but like that is the new motivation. Is this kid, this boy, has the memories of Popsis and Amonet's snakes, but he's a human.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's like super illegal for the Goulds. So Popsis really was up to all kinds of shit before he died.
Yeah.
So when I first heard it, I thought they said
the first time they brought this up, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first time.
When I first heard this term, I thought they said Narcissus, and I was like, what?
Harcesis.
That would have been funnier.
So now it's the hunt for the Harcesis boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Until
gotta find my dead wife's child that was born through the worst kind of sexual assault.
And the boy has magical powers, and we need that. Yeah. Really should have handed the baby off the last season. Turns out.
Yeah.
Really should have taken that thing with you.
Yeah, I think that makes this bit like weirder, because like, wasn't he saying, "Oh, we're gonna go into hiding and they'll never find us," and then like the next season, oh no, they immediately found us. It's just kind of like, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like they bring this up in that episode too, which, don't get me wrong. So I will say this: that episode way worse than this episode, just because of the idiot ball being played there. But like, don't they bring that stuff up during that episode too? How like this kid will have the genetic memories of the Gould and all that.
They?
Yeah,
I feel like
they do.
Oh yeah.
So like, it kind of makes some of the weird retreads that they have here feel like really fucking dumb. Like, why didn't you bring this kid with you originally?
Like I think we talked about.
In fact, why did you leave any of these people on Abydos?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, don't worry too much about it.
Yeah, I mean, the Abydos people get theirs eventually.
Oh, but don't worry too much about it. Is what I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, I know. This show eventually, like the motivations of the characters get there again. It's just, this feels so weird.
All right. Any last notes from anyone?
This is the first and the last time we'll see the Fred variant with the 50 cal on the back, unfortunately, because I feel like that would solve 9 out of 10 future problems the team will have.
Just bring a 50 cal with them.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
Listen, it seems like most combat scenarios with the Gould can be resolved with a 50 cal, at least on the ground.
I guess.
I have to wonder if Apophis can mass produce MP5s, wouldn't he just like mass produce those and replace all his staff weapons with those? Because those staff weapons sure don't seem as useful as an automatic firearm.
We will get to that eventually.
It probably crossed his mind
Yeah.
right before he died.
Probably.
Oh,
I should have
That
made
was
more
his-
MP5s.
That was his last thought. Should have made more.
Yeah. No, his last thoughts were, what if they were P90s?
We're not there yet. We're not there
Not
yet.
there yet.
Yeah.
When do we get to the P90s? Is that season 4 or 5?
Oh, you'll know.
Four.
Yeah.
We're
But,
getting close.
So I'll say this: this is like the first time I could vividly remember Daniel Jackson getting 2 kills on screen with a pistol, and it's just two Jaffa or guards basically coming
Yeah,
out of that
just
tent and then
two
just getting
randos.
shot up, and then the next one comes out and gets shot up too.
Yeah,
straight
so
up,
Daniel
like-
actually gets body count here.
So really, that armor doesn't do jack, is what we're learning.
It's just there for
pretty much.
decoration.
It certainly doesn't stop like a standard issue pistol. That's for sure.
All right, so any last thoughts?
Not for me.
Okay. So that does it for this episode of Chariots of the Pods. Next time, we'll be continuing even further into Season 3 with episodes 11 through 14. And these are, in order, Past and Present, Jolinar's Memories, The Devil You Know, and Foothold. The titles are kind of spoilers, aren't they? But anyway, this podcast has been part of the Deep Listens podcast network thingy. Deep Listens is a podcast about video games. It's like a video game book club. Runs twice a month, where the main crew review a game that either they decide or is decided by vengeful Canadians, as we will see in an
Or my
episode that
niece.
should be airing around this time.
Or my niece.
Oh,
Hey, I gave them an out and they didn't take it.
okay, yeah, so it was your niece that subjected them to infinity, Nikki. Oh boy. There's also the Off the Deep End podcast, which is also like a vegan book club, but about crusty RPGs, both old and new. I'm on that sometimes. There are occasional sports podcasts, such as a basketball podcast or the football podcast, Amateur Hour, featuring both myself and Tyler in this show. There's also a ranking of deck builders thing, and an occasional Final Fantasy podcast. So, there's a variety of things here, mostly video game related. There's also Patreon for Deep Listens. For $1 a month, you get access to the Discord for as long as the Discord exists. If Discord decides to shoot itself out of existence, we'll see.
No signs of that happening.
But for now, there's Discord you can join for $1 a month to the Patreon, and for $3 a month to the Patreon, you get access to the super secret special podcast, the OG Suncast, in which your favorite hosts from Off the Deep End and the main pod review anime from roughly the late 90s to early aughts. And you can find me. I have a blog where I review games from the 32-bit console generation in release order at 5th Generation Gaming .blog. I stream sometimes, occasionally, at 5th Gen Gaming on Twitch. Does anyone else have plugs?
Yeah, sure. I guess once I'm finally able to talk without using lozenges, I'm going to get back to streaming again. Though I did actually start earlier this year, and now my goal is to see if I can actually finish Trails in the Sky second chapter before the goddamn remake comes out, which is apparently I'm running out of time quickly on that one. So
I'm going to finish Cold Steel 2 before you finish SC.
it's probably true.
Reflect on that.
Yeah, I'm probably going to try. I'll try to get to that this weekend. It's just going to depend. I'm feeling better. It's just without the lozenges, I actually do have a hard time talking.
All right. So, with that is the show. Goodbye, Internet.